I'm an artist. I work with nature. I'm a land artist, and I'm working on a year-long project called Listening to the Mother. Each month I go into the forest and create a land art piece that explores themes that have come up for me while spending time in stillness and really deeply listening to that connection of what nature is and what nature speaks and tells stories of, and how we as humans are interconnected with those systems. So it's listening and co-creating. This month I step into the forest in a different way. The seasons are changing, and I notice the stories of the forest are quieter, yet full of energy of that change, the unknown. And it definitely resonates with me. As we all struggle with the changing world, the changing inner world, perhaps we can look to nature. Perhaps we can learn from nature that change will come, and we can be with change rather than against it. We can explore what it may look like, what it may feel like. We can imagine, and we can know that we are strong enough to dance this dance of change, nature's dance, life's dance. My first steps before I delve into creating a piece, before I actually get to what I'm going to be doing, is to explore the forest in the state that it's in now. That includes my presence. I explore just the sights and sounds, the forms, and take a lot of time walking and collecting materials to see what speaks to me. Part of my process is to not have a plan, but just to feel what's going on at the time. And this time was no different. Eventually I found a little clearing, and it had these great arched trees bent over from the wind, from the seasons. And there were so many fallen leaves. In this particular forest, there's a lot of big leaf maple that turn golden in September and October. These giant deciduous leaves stand out against the deep greens of the Douglas fir and the towering red cedars. As I walked through the forest and the leaves were falling, it felt like I was watching the most beautiful dance, a dance of change. And really that's what inspired me to begin gathering leaves, to try and find ways where I could freeze almost, or just pause that dance and hold it for a moment, even though, as all the pieces are ephemeral and they will decompose, I knew working with these leaves and motion, the dance into change, would be even more ephemeral. It wouldn't last very long. I would have to work with that rapidity, that change that was energetic, that dance of nature and the seasons. This piece came together quite quickly because it had to. Everything was beginning to change even as I constructed it. Even though it wasn't my first inspiration to explore movement and dance, that's what it became. because that was the way the forest was speaking to me, in a way of embracing energy with tranquility, with the known and the unknown that life is interconnected with. So what were some of those challenges with this particular installation? There were the regulars, the doubts, the worries that nothing will happen, I won't know what to do, I'll have no inspiration, the materials that I use will fall apart. All that was there for sure. It's always there. That's okay. That is part of the process. The extra challenges were shorter days, colder temperatures. The sun traveled across the forest differently. I didn't know if the sun was even going to hit the leaves like I was hoping. I worried that they would just be a bunch of inert, dull leaves. As I was about to leave one day, the sun arced across the clearing, and it hit almost every leaf, making it incandescent. And I felt like that was the message for me from nature, from trusting the process. I had this moment. I had this moment of, there it is. This is why I create. This is why I come into nature. This is why I believe that I can do it, even when I have doubts. This is why I believe that nature is so important for not just me, not just humans, but for the intricacies of the whole earth. We need to connect. We are connected. We just have to make that more intentional. For me, this whole experience of making this particular piece really grounded me in understanding that cyclical nature of change. That change is always there. It's not always easy. And we do make huge assumptions. But it will happen. And how can we step into change knowing that we will be okay? There is beauty, even if it looks very different. And it's okay that it's not the same as it was, or even what our expectations were. Can we dance into change? Can we move with the flow? Nature is there to teach us. If we take time, if we listen, if we breathe and ground ourselves every day through the changes, we are going to be okay. In fact, sometimes the change is amazing.